What if I told you that the secret to understanding America's soul lies between two slices of bread? The 1970s weren't just about disco balls and bell-bottom jeans. They were the golden age of sandwich innovation, when creative cooks turned humble ingredients into culinary adventures. In 25 sandwiches from the 1970s you need to eat in your lifetime, we're taking a delicious journey back to an era when food was bold, unapologetic, and surprisingly satisfying. Pimento Cheese Sandwich. Down south, they called pimento cheese the caviar of the South, and for good reason. This creamy, orange-flecked spread became the unofficial sandwich of the decade, gracing everything from white bread to crackers. Made with sharp cheddar cheese, mayonnaise, and diced pimentos, it delivered a tangy punch that woke up your taste buds. The beauty of pimento cheese was its versatility. You could eat it cold from the fridge or grill it for a melted masterpiece. Every Southern grandmother had her secret recipe, whether it involved cream cheese for extra richness or a dash of hot sauce for heat. The sandwich represented community and tradition, often appearing at church gatherings, family reunions, and bridge club meetings. It was comfort food that connected people to their roots, while satisfying that craving for something rich and satisfying. Deviled ham sandwich. The deviled ham sandwich was rebellion in edible form, a punk rock answer to boring lunch meat. This spicy, spreadable concoction mixed finely chopped ham with mustard, mayonnaise, and enough spices to make your tongue tingle. It came in those distinctive small cans that became kitchen staples, ready to transform any boring lunch into an adventure. The sandwich typically featured soft white bread, a generous spread of deviled ham, and maybe some lettuce for crunch. What made it special was the complex flavor, sweet, salty, and spicy all at once. It was perfect for kids who wanted something more exciting than plain ham, and adults appreciated its convenience and bold taste. The deviled ham sandwich represented the 70s spirit of taking familiar ingredients and adding a twist that made everything more interesting. Griddle cheese sandwich. Before fancy paninis took over, there was the griddle cheese sandwich, a masterclass in simple perfection. This wasn't your average grilled cheese. It was cooked on a hot griddle with butter, creating that perfect golden crust that cracked when you bit into it. The cheese, usually American or cheddar, melted into creamy rivers that stretched as you pulled the sandwich apart. The secret was getting the heat just right, hot enough to create that crispy exterior, but gentle enough to melt the cheese completely. Many diners and lunch counters perfected this technique, serving griddle cheese sandwiches alongside milkshakes and fries. It represented the essence of American diner culture, where simple ingredients and skilled technique created food that satisfied both hunger and soul. Each bite delivered that perfect contrast of textures that made it impossible to eat just one. Spam salad sandwich. The spam salad sandwich turned a wartime necessity into a 70s delicacy that surprised everyone with its versatility and taste. Diced spam mixed with mayonnaise, chopped pickles, and sometimes hard-boiled eggs created a spread that was both familiar and exotic. It challenged preconceptions about canned meat, proving that with the right preparation, anything could become delicious. The sandwich usually featured soft bread, a generous layer of spam salad, and crisp lettuce. What made it work was the balance, the saltiness of the spam, the creaminess of the mayo, and the sharp bite of pickles. It was economical, filling, and surprisingly satisfying. Many families discovered that spam salad sandwiches were perfect for picnics, lunch boxes, and quick dinners. The sandwich represented American ingenuity, taking an inexpensive ingredient and transforming it into something that felt special and homemade. Denver sandwich. The Denver sandwich was the breakfast meets lunch champion that proved eggs belonged on more than just morning plates. This hearty creation combined scrambled eggs with diced ham, bell peppers, and onions, all piled between slices of toasted bread. It was essentially a Denver omelet in sandwich form, making it portable and perfect for any time of day. The key was getting the eggs just right, creamy but not runny, with vegetables that still had some bite. Many diners served it as an all-day breakfast option, and it became popular with shift workers who needed something substantial at odd hours. The sandwich represented American ingenuity in repurposing familiar flavors into new forms. It was filling enough to power through a long workday, but tasty enough to make any meal feel special. Each bite delivered that perfect combination of protein and vegetables that made it both satisfying and surprisingly nutritious. Liverwurst on rye. The Liverwurst on rye sandwich was the sophisticated European import that found a home in American delis and lunch counters. This rich, smooth spread made from liver and spices delivered intense flavors that either won people over completely or sent them running. Served on dense rye bread with mustard and sometimes onions, it was a grown-up sandwich that didn't apologize for being bold. The combination worked because the hearty rye bread could stand up to the strong flavors of the liverwurst, while mustard added a sharp counterpoint that balanced the richness. It represented the melting pot nature of American cuisine, bringing European traditions into mainstream lunch culture. Many people discovered liverwurst through deli sandwiches and became lifelong fans of its unique taste and satisfying texture. Each bite delivered complex flavors that spoke to sophisticated palates looking for something beyond ordinary lunch meat. Olive and cream cheese sandwich. The olive and cream cheese sandwich was the cocktail party favorite that made the transition from appetizer to main course. This elegant combination mixed chopped green olives with smooth cream cheese, creating a spread that was both luxurious and satisfying. It was often served on white or pumpernickel bread, sometimes with a garnish of paprika or fresh herbs. The sandwich appealed to people who wanted something more refined than typical lunch fare, but still accessible and familiar. The saltiness of the olives perfectly balanced the richness of the cream cheese, while the bread provided a neutral backdrop for the bold flavors. It represented the 70s trend of elevating simple ingredients into something that felt special and sophisticated. Many hostesses served these at bridge parties and ladies' lunches, making them symbols of social gatherings and feminine hospitality. Each bite delivered that perfect balance of creamy and salty that made it surprisingly addictive. Bologna and onion sandwich. The bologna and onion sandwich was the blue-collar hero that turned simple ingredients into something that satisfied both hunger and soul. Thick slices of bologna paired with raw or grilled onions created a combination that was both familiar and exciting. The key was getting the balance right. Enough onion to add bite and freshness without overwhelming the mild bologna. Many people preferred it on white bread with mustard or mayonnaise, while others grilled the whole sandwich for extra flavor. It represented honest working-class food that didn't pretend to be anything other than satisfying and affordable. The sandwich was popular in lunchboxes and quick dinner solutions, proving that simple combinations often worked best. Construction workers, factory employees, and anyone looking for a filling meal appreciated its straightforward approach to flavor. Each bite delivered the comfort of familiar tastes with enough character to keep things interesting throughout the meal. Chopped egg and olive sandwich. The chopped egg and olive sandwich was the elegant brunch option that brought sophistication to any meal. Hard-boiled eggs mixed with chopped olives, mayonnaise, and sometimes herbs created a spread that was both refined and satisfying. It was often served on toasted bread with lettuce, making it feel fresh and light, despite being protein-rich. The combination worked beautifully because the mild eggs provided a creamy base for the bold olive flavors, while the mayonnaise bound everything together. It represented the growing interest in lighter, more sophisticated lunch options that didn't sacrifice flavor or satisfaction. Many country clubs and upscale cafes featured this sandwich, making it a symbol of leisurely dining and refined taste. The sandwich appealed to people who wanted something more interesting than plain egg salad but appreciated the familiar comfort of eggs. Each bite delivered complex flavors and textures that made it feel special enough for entertaining yet simple enough for everyday meals. Sardine Salad Sandwich. The sardine salad sandwich was the adventurous choice that turned skeptics into believers with its bold flavors and surprising sophistication. Mashed sardines mixed with mayonnaise, lemon juice, and sometimes chopped onions created a spread that was both exotic and familiar. It challenged American palates to embrace fish beyond tuna, offering a more intense flavor experience. The sandwich was typically served on hearty bread that could handle the strong flavors and oils from the sardines. Many people discovered it through European influences or health-conscious friends who appreciated the high protein and omega-3 content. It represented the expanding American palate and willingness to try international flavors. The sandwich appealed to people who wanted something more adventurous than typical lunch fare while still being affordable and nutritious. Tuna and apple sandwich. The tuna and apple sandwich was the health food pioneer that proved nutritious could also be delicious. This unexpected combination paired protein-rich tuna with the sweet crunch of fresh apples, creating a sandwich that satisfied both hunger and the growing interest in healthier eating. Mixed with mayonnaise and sometimes celery, the tuna salad got a sweet surprise from diced apples that added texture and natural sweetness. It was often served on whole wheat bread, making it feel even more wholesome. The sandwich appealed to people who wanted something lighter than heavy meat sandwiches, but more substantial than just vegetables. It represented the beginning of America's health food movement, showing that eating better didn't mean sacrificing flavor. Each bite delivered contrasting textures and flavors that kept things interesting, making it a favorite among people who appreciated food that was both nutritious and satisfying. Pickle and peanut butter sandwich. The pickle and peanut butter sandwich was the weird kid's lunch that somehow worked better than anyone expected. This unlikely combination paired the creamy richness of peanut butter with the sharp, salty crunch of pickles, creating a flavor profile that was both bizarre and brilliant. It challenged conventional ideas about what belonged together, proving that sometimes the strangest combinations created the most memorable experiences. The sandwich typically featured white bread, smooth or crunchy peanut butter, and dill pickle slices arranged for maximum crunch. It appealed to adventurous eaters and became a cult favorite among those willing to try something different. The combination worked because the fat in the peanut butter balanced the acidity of the pickles, while contrasting textures kept every bite interesting. It represented the playful, experimental spirit of 70s food culture, where people weren't afraid to try unusual combinations. Each bite delivered a surprising harmony of sweet, salty, and tangy flavors. Tongue sandwich. The tongue sandwich was the intimidating delicacy that separated adventurous eaters from the squeamish, delivering flavors that rewarded the brave. Thinly sliced beef tongue, usually cooked until tender and seasoned with herbs, created a sandwich filling that was surprisingly mild and delicious. It was often served on rye bread with mustard, making it feel sophisticated and European. The texture was unique, tender but with more substance than typical deli meats, offering a eating experience that felt special and distinctive. Many Jewish delis and German restaurants featured tongue sandwiches, making them symbols of cultural authenticity and traditional cooking methods. The sandwich represented the willingness to embrace less common cuts of meat, showing respect for using the whole animal. It appealed to people who appreciated traditional flavors and weren't afraid of unfamiliar foods. Each bite delivered rich, beefy flavors that proved offal could be delicious when prepared properly, challenging preconceptions about what constituted good sandwich meat. Pumpernickel ham sandwich. The pumpernickel ham sandwich elevated the humble ham sandwich into something that felt European and sophisticated. The dense, dark pumpernickel bread provided a robust foundation that could handle thick slices of quality ham, while its slightly sweet, nutty flavor complemented the meat perfectly. It was often dressed with mustard and sometimes Swiss cheese, creating a combination that felt both hearty and refined. The sandwich represented the growing appreciation for artisanal breads and quality ingredients that characterized 70s food culture. Many German-influenced areas and upscale delis featured this combination, making it a symbol of craftsmanship and tradition. The hearty bread made it incredibly filling, while the quality ham provided rich, satisfying flavors that lasted throughout the meal. It appealed to people who wanted something more substantial than typical deli sandwiches, but appreciated the simplicity of classic combinations. Egg and cress sandwich. The egg and cress sandwich was the delicate tea-time favorite that brought British elegance to American lunch tables. Hard-boiled eggs mixed with fresh watercress and mayonnaise created a filling that was both light and satisfying, with the peppery cress adding a sophisticated bite to mild eggs. It was typically served on thin white bread with the crusts removed, making it feel refined and special. The sandwich represented the growing interest in lighter, more sophisticated lunch options that didn't sacrifice flavor or nutrition. Many upscale cafes and hotel restaurants featured egg and cress sandwiches, making them symbols of refined dining and feminine sophistication. The combination worked perfectly because the creamy eggs provided richness, while the cress added freshness and a slight peppery kick. It appealed to people who wanted something more interesting than plain egg salad, but appreciated the familiar comfort of eggs as a base. Each bite delivered fresh, clean flavors with enough character to feel special and sophisticated. Bologna and potato chip sandwich. The bologna and potato chip sandwich was the texture lover's dream that turned a simple sandwich into a symphony of crunch and flavor. Adding potato chips to bologna created an unexpected combination that delivered satisfying contrasts in every bite. The soft bologna and bread provided familiar comfort, while the chips added salt, crunch, and a playful element that made eating fun. It was popular with kids who loved the novelty and adults who appreciated the way the chips elevated ordinary ingredients. The sandwich represented the playful, experimental nature of 70s food culture, where people weren't afraid to try unconventional combinations. Many people discovered it by accident when eating chips alongside their sandwiches, then realized it worked better as an intentional combination. It appealed to people who wanted something more exciting than plain Bologna, but didn't want complicated preparations. Each bite delivered familiar flavors enhanced by unexpected textures that made ordinary ingredients feel special and memorable. Chopped chicken liver sandwich. The chopped chicken liver sandwich was the Jewish deli classic that turned organ meat into a luxurious spread beloved by generations. Chicken livers sautéed with onions and hard-boiled eggs, then chopped and seasoned, created a rich, complex filling that was both familiar and exotic. It was typically served on rye bread with mustard, making it feel authentic and traditional. The sandwich represented the preservation of cultural food traditions and the elevation of humble ingredients into something special. Many Jewish delis and families guarded their chopped liver recipes carefully, making each version unique and personal. The combination worked because the eggs and onions mellowed the intense liver flavors while adding texture and sweetness. It appealed to people who appreciated traditional flavors and weren't afraid of rich, bold tastes. The sandwich was often served at celebrations and gatherings, making it a symbol of community and heritage. Each bite delivered complex, savory flavors that connected people to their cultural roots while providing substantial nutrition. Bologna and mustard sandwich. The Bologna and mustard sandwich was the straightforward classic that proved simple combinations often worked best. Quality Bologna paired with good mustard created a no-nonsense sandwich that satisfied without pretense or complication. The key was using the right mustard, yellow for mild tang, brown for more complexity, or spicy for heat, to complement the mild Bologna perfectly. It was often served on white bread, making it accessible and familiar to everyone. The sandwich represented honest, working-class food that didn't apologize for being simple or affordable. Many lunch boxes and quick meals featured this combination, proving that basic ingredients could be deeply satisfying when balanced correctly. It appealed to people who wanted reliable flavor without fuss or exotic ingredients. The sandwich was popular with children and adults alike, making it a unifying food that crossed generational lines. Each bite delivered clean, straightforward flavors that provided comfort and satisfaction without overwhelming the palate or breaking the budget. Cottage cheese and pineapple sandwich. The cottage cheese and pineapple sandwich was the health-conscious choice that made eating well feel like a tropical vacation. This combination paired protein-rich cottage cheese with sweet, juicy pineapple chunks, creating a sandwich that was both nutritious and indulgent. It was often served on whole wheat bread, reinforcing its healthy image while providing complex carbohydrates and fiber. The sandwich represented the growing awareness of nutrition and the desire to eat lighter, fresher foods without sacrificing satisfaction. Many dieters and health-conscious people discovered that this combination satisfied sweet cravings while providing substantial protein. The contrast between creamy cottage cheese and juicy pineapple created interesting textures that kept every bite engaging. It appealed to people who wanted something different from heavy meat sandwiches, but still needed filling, nutritious meals. The sandwich often appeared at ladies' lunches and health-focused restaurants, making it a symbol of conscious eating. Each bite delivered refreshing flavors that felt both healthy and indulgent, proving that nutritious food could also be delicious. Bacon and peanut butter sandwich. The bacon and peanut butter sandwich was the Elvis-approved combination that turned two American favorites into something greater than the sum of its parts. Crispy bacon paired with creamy or crunchy peanut butter created a sandwich that was both familiar and revolutionary, delivering sweet, salty, and smoky flavors in perfect harmony. It challenged conventional ideas about breakfast foods and sandwich fillings, proving that unexpected combinations could create memorable experiences. The sandwich was often grilled or toasted, which helped meld the flavors and created appealing textures. It represented the playful, experimental spirit of American cuisine and the willingness to try unusual but appealing combinations. Many people discovered it through Elvis Presley's famous love of similar combinations, making it feel both rebellious and patriotic. The sandwich appealed to people who weren't afraid of rich, indulgent foods and appreciated bold flavor combinations. Each bite delivered complex tastes that satisfied multiple cravings simultaneously, making it impossible to categorize as either breakfast, lunch, or snack food. Cream cheese and date nut sandwich. The cream cheese and date nut sandwich was the sophisticated sweet treat that elevated afternoon snacks into something special and memorable. Smooth cream cheese mixed with chopped dates and nuts created a spread that was both luxurious and wholesome, offering natural sweetness and satisfying textures. It was often served on nut bread or white bread, making it feel like dessert disguised as a proper meal. The sandwich represented the growing interest in more refined, less processed sweet options that still satisfied cravings for indulgence. Many tea rooms and upscale cafes featured this combination, making it a symbol of elegant dining and feminine sophistication. The combination worked beautifully because the cream cheese provided richness, the dates added natural sweetness, and the nuts contributed satisfying crunch and protein. It appealed to people who wanted something more interesting than plain cream cheese, but appreciated familiar, comforting flavors. Each bite delivered complex sweetness and textures that made it perfect for special occasions or when something ordinary just wouldn't satisfy the craving for something special.
Fried Spam Sandwich. During the challenging times of World War II, when traditional protein sources were scarce, the fried Spam sandwich emerged as a staple in American households. Introduced in 1937, Spam was an affordable and convenient meat option that didn't require refrigeration, making it ideal for families during the war years. A Cal Spam sandwich consisted of grilled Spam slices paired with cheese, mustard, or mayonnaise, all nestled between toasted bread, a simple yet satisfying meal that resonated with the hardworking individuals of that era. As tar concluded and fresh meats became more accessible, the popularity of the Spam sandwich waned. Howevet's legacy endures, with many still enjoying variations of this retro sandwich today. Sloppy Joe. Another notable sandwich from that era is the Sloppy Joe, which consists of ground beef, onions, tomato sauce or ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, and other seasonings served on a hamburger bun. The origins of the Sloppy Joe are debated, with some attributing it to a bar owner in Havana, Cuba in 1917, while others trace it back to Sioux City, Iowa in the 1930s. By the 1940s, references to Sloppy Joes as sandwiches became common in the United States. These sandwiches reflect the culinary trends of their times, offering a glimpse into the flavors and preferences that shaped mid-20th century American cuisine. Cheese and Marmite Sandwich. The cheese and Marmite sandwich is a boldly British creation that marries the creamy, mellow character of cheese with the uniquely savory, umami intensity of Marmite. Typically assembled on a slice of hearty wholemeal or even crustless white bread, the spread of Marmite lends an assertive, salty tang that cuts through the smooth, melting cheese. Although its flavor profile can be an acquired taste, this sandwich has developed a dedicated following in the United Kingdom, where it remains a nostalgic staple reminiscent of traditional school lunches and classic tea time snacks. Monte Cristo sandwich. The Monte Cristo sandwich is a classic American dish that gained popularity in the mid-20th century. It's an egg-dipped or batter-dipped ham and cheese sandwich that is pan or deep-fried, often considered a variation of the French croque monsieur. The sandwich can be savory or a mix of savory and sweet, sometimes covered in powdered sugar and served with maple syrup or preserves. Its rise in popularity is partly attributed to being served at Disneyland's Blue Bayou restaurant. Potted meat sandwiches. Potted meat sandwiches were a staple in the early 20th century, offering a practical solution for meat preservation before modern refrigeration. Potted meat involves cooking meat until tender, then sealing it in a container with fat to extend its shelf life. To prepare a simple potted meat sandwich, spread butter on 2 slices of bread and add a generous layer of potted meat. This combination provided a convenient and satisfying meal during times when fresh meat storage was challenging. As preservation methods improved, the popularity of potted meat sandwiches declined. However, they remain a part of culinary history, reflecting the resourcefulness of past generations in creating tasty and practical meals. Creamed corn sandwich. This lunchtime classic was easy to make. It consisted of cream-style sweet corn kernels spread on buttered bread, topped with cheese, veggies, and herbs of your choice. After a quick press in a panini maker, lunch was ready. This retro sandwich was perfect for a long school day or a stressful day at work, especially for those living the busy lifestyles of the past. However, as tastes shifted over the decades, creamed corn sandwiches faded into history. Today, it's still a favorite among those with old-school preferences and is a semi-popular choice for people who prefer a vegetarian diet, as long as they're making it at home. Only a fraction of restaurants still have this lunchtime delight on the menu. If you're looking for a low-calorie sandwich that's also incredibly tasty, there are probably better options, but how many of them are this easy to make? If you love some good cheese on your food and you're trying to explore healthier snack options, you'll love the heavy lifter coming up next. Tongue sandwich. Meanwhile, the tongue sandwich tells the story of culinary ingenuity, transforming a once overlooked cut of meat into a delicacy. In many traditional Jewish delis and European bistros, beef tongue was slow cooked until tender, then thinly sliced and served on robust rye or crusty rolls. The sandwich is typically finished with bold condiments, such as spicy mustard or horseradish, that cut through the rich, savory flavor of the tongue, making it a dish that, although less common today, continues to be celebrated by those with a taste for traditional offal-based fare. Scrapple sandwich. Beloved especially in the mid-Atlantic region, the scrapple sandwich transforms a regional staple into a hearty meal. Scrapple, a savory blend of pork scraps, cornmeal, and spices, is sliced and pan-fried until its exterior becomes irresistibly crisp, while the inside remains tender and richly flavored. Served on soft bread with a smear of tangy mustard or a hint of maple syrup, this sandwich offers a satisfying contrast in textures and flavors. Its robust, earthy taste is a cherished reminder of traditional Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine and has earned its place as a comforting favorite among those who appreciate its down-home charm. Spam and pineapple sandwich. Finally, the Spam and pineapple sandwich stands out as a distinctly American creation that fuses sweet and savory in a delightful, unconventional pairing. Born during an era when canned meats like Spam were everyday staples in kitchens, this sandwich combines crispy, fried slices of Spam with the bright, tropical sweetness of pineapple rings. Some recipes even call for additional accents like banana slices or a drizzle of honey to further enhance the flavor contrast. The result is a playful yet satisfying dish that reflects the innovative spirit of mid-century America, a dish that has evolved over time yet continues to inspire both nostalgia and culinary adventure. Bacon and peanut butter sandwich. The bacon and peanut butter sandwich is an intriguing culinary creation from the 1950s and 1960s. Despite the seemingly unconventional combination, it became a beloved snack during that time. The sandwich is simple to prepare. Spread peanut butter on bread, add banana slices and cooked bacon strips, then assemble. This combination offers a balance of protein and carbohydrates, making it a satisfying option for a demanding day. Over time, changing tastes led to this sandwich becoming less prominent. Nevertheless, peanut butter and bacon remain a favorite pairing in many American households. For those open to experimenting with unique combinations, this sandwich is worth a try. Enhancements like adding a touch of honey or incorporating caramelized onions can elevate the flavors even further. It's a treat that captivates from the first bite, much like the next sandwich on our list. Victory Sandwich. The Victory Sandwich is a symbol of resourcefulness and post-war optimism, a creation born from times when every ingredient was precious. Traditionally assembled with simple, readily available items like buttered bread, a modest layer of tangy mustard or butter, and whatever cold cuts or vegetables were on hand, it became a culinary emblem of triumph over scarcity. Today, chefs continue to reinvent the Victory Sandwich by pairing classic components with unexpected gourmet touches such as artisanal spreads or pickled vegetables, thereby honoring its humble origins while appealing to modern tastes. Olive loaf sandwiches. Imagine yourself back in the mid-20th century when American lunchboxes featured a new staple, the olive loaf sandwich. This cold cut, blending ground pork, beef, and green olives quickly became popular for its distinctive flavor. Assembling the sandwich was easy. Layer slices of olive loaf with creamy mayonnaise or tangy mustard, crisp lettuce, and sometimes cheese, all nestled between fresh bread. This simple yet delicious sandwich became a picnic and lunchbox favorite, often enjoyed with potato chips or pickles. It tells the story of how processed meats and cold cuts shaped American lunch culture, offering quick, flavorful, and varied meal options. Over time, the rise of fresh, health-conscious eating habits led to the decline of processed meats. However, the olive loaf sandwich remains a nostalgic reminder of simpler culinary times. These sandwiches not only highlight the resourcefulness of past generations, but also evoke a sense of nostalgia for the good old days. They serve as culinary snapshots of American reflecting the resilience and adaptability of people during the 20th century. Today, while some of these retro sandwiches have faded into obscurity, they remain cherished memories for baby boomers and Gen Xers, solidifying the flavors of their childhood and the spirit of old-school Americana.